No.
Come on, YouTube.
Nope.
You can do it.
YouTube's taking Wednesdays off from now on.
We're live.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're getting ready to watch everything explode, but we got a bunch of fun stuff to talk about coming up on weekly, daily, Wednesdays. We're just doing a little pre-show. I'm pressing buttons, flipping switches, going, I don't know why that's not working, but, you know, more of the same.
So it's Tuesday on a Wednesday.
Basically.
Hi, Theron. Hi, Rohit. Hi, Romlock. Hi, Chipsy.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, S. Michelle. Yeah, IRC chat bridge is now working, but today I got a lot of net splits under Freenode, so I don't know how stable, but I do see that Romlock is an IRC right now, so that's really good. And, hello, Barbram.
I made this orange vape juice, and it's I don't know why exactly they call this flavor orange. It tastes nothing like orange. I've had oranges my whole life. My grandmother used to grow them. So yeah, no.
Oh, what flavor does it taste like? Oh no, Pedro. Oh.
It was good knowing Pedro. I mean, you know, he's been there with us the hard times and the bad.
Why do you do this to me, Jitsi? Why?
Spite, Pedro.
Portu Gamer tries oranges, Arthur says.
Wow, that's smeary.
Oh yeah, S. Michelle. And today I just got the LWW Jill Linux Girl mug you got me. Yay! My birthday gift from S. Michelle. Yep, I put that in rotation every few weeks now.
Cup rotation.
Yes. I still have like another like 50 or 60 I haven't even shown yet.
I have 2 mugs I use. There's a third one that's supposedly mine, but Nori keeps using it.
Right.
Yeah, isn't that nice, Arthur? He jacked up all the things.
You just got to keep an eye on Jill. Projectile giggling hasn't been dialed in the software gates yet, so it could blow out some people's ears.
Okay.
That's going to be the first thing we announce. Is we are definitely experimenting on this episode, so
expect fire.
Well, at least got to try this. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of doing everything possible in hardware. But the flexibility of this, now that we have the hardware, I don't know how that makes sense. Anyway.
Yeah, combining the two together in concert. Hi, Mir PPC. Hello. Oh yeah, lots of screen tearing, huh, Pedro? It's just been a bad Jitsi day today.
Frickin' Jitsi, man.
Yeah.
Well, we don't need your video, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, mine's not doing it, so.
like it.
Hi, Brother Jellybean, getting some lunch.
It's it's doing the thing where it drops the upstream to like 160 kilobits per second.
All right.
I can change again.
Because that'll fix it.
I'm running out of browsers, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Mosaic. You know you can do it. Make it happen. ASCII.
Okay. Let's just wipe the cache. Clean everything. Okay. All right, give me a sec.
Boom.
Yay! There you are.
Okay. All right. We'll see if this one holds a bit better.
Yeah. Absolutely not. So.
So everyone, yes, we're doing lots of testing here. And has everyone been enjoying installing their the Windows games under Steam Linux now?
Why would I do that?
Yeah. I don't have many of them, but I do
something Skyrim.
Yes, yeah, and that's the thing. Like I said yesterday in chat, we'll never see Venn again.
It was cute because by the time everyone had typed that, I'd already uninstalled it.
No, you were still running it when I typed it in. You were still in.
Well, you get a bite-sized Snickers. I mean, it runs. I mean, the one thing you can say about it is it's definitely a one-click install if you make sure to use Proton with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably have every like Matthew have every wine staging under the sun installed because of Lutris and so. I'm sorry, Pedro. What were you saying?
No, it's just now there's already spreadsheet with all the games that people have been testing.
Yeah,
there seem to be some contradictory results there, but that's I guess that's the nature of wine. Oh,
it's going to be an unmitigated shite show for a long time because people are going to start leaving reviews for those games that they're trying to play, and they're going to be negative because they don't run, and they're not running because it's unsupported. And I guarantee you, Valve hasn't done anything to mitigate that.
I mean, the only thing they did do is on their GitHub page, they had a very detailed installation. No, it wasn't that detailed, but the thing is that what it didn't say, like it's. I just assumed, okay, I have to run it on my 1804 machine, and no, it runs fine on my 1604 machines. so you just have to have
it's a self-contained they're self-contained wine prefixes using Proton, so
but Steam said that was its minimum requirements was 1804.
That's what they tested on.
Yeah but most people I know are using other distros.
All right. For Doom. Yeah, Iculus posted a thing, and he's like, what do you think would be more likely? That a company would spend multiple years to invest millions of dollars to get a system up and running to play Doom on Linux, or would it be ZeniMax releasing it with a DOS box?
Yes, that was funny. Yeah, I retweeted that tweet too. And poor Pedro's gone again.
Don't rule him out so quickly. He's still with us in spirit.
Oh, I need my Portu gamer.
Telling you, man. Steve's not even gone for 24 hours.
Aww. Yeah, very true, Rohit. But yeah, Pedro's right about, Valve does have to make, at least one. They made 1804 their test bench, but they could have mentioned in there that some of the other ones work, but they didn't use the other distros to test. So
okay, don't trust Chrome dev.
Oh.
Come on, Jitsi. All I'm asking is for a little bit, just a little bit. An hour.
Yeah.
Audio's been fine, man, dude. Like 6 people watch this on YouTube. Seriously.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is maybe bringing in your video resolution a little lower, just for now, since it's losing packets.
Audio's coming in fine. You touch that, it's going to hit the audio quality too.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. But also maybe in GC view, you could adjust it there, because I notice sometimes that makes a difference too. When we were having all those other problems before, I went down to 720.
That's what it's set to in GVC. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh well.
It's like I'm sending 960 by 720.
Let's see. Oh, I don't have you gated, so that's good. And I have an approximating giggle gate right now. I got it set at -6 dB before Gigglegate kicks in. That's what I've named it. It seems a bit more polite than using our hardware compressor, which is like, nope, just kills it. All right. I think we're getting ready to do this, ladies and gentlemen. 17, 16, 17. Don't trust YouTube.
Yes.
I've had YouTube show 3 completely different numbers on views on our videos on the same computer.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And we're talking like factors of like 20 and 30. And I got a notification for Linux Gamecast Weekly. A notification from YouTube that the video was just posted yesterday. 8 o'clock in the morning, because I was like, all right, who's playing with YouTube? That was my first thought. No, YouTube just decided to sit on it for a few days.
I wonder if it's trying to guess when you usually go and check like YouTube subscriptions to see if anything new is out. And it sends you the notification then.
Dude, this is why I've never tried to play the YouTube game. I was like, man, whatever. It's a CDN for people that want to watch it. Right. So isn't that Battle Royale game coming out this week?
Is it this week?
I don't know. Maybe one of us is on a gaming show. We should know these things.
I think it was, they said that it was going to be the 28th. So, yeah. But yeah, no, it's Crazy Justice. There we go. I remembered.
It's tomorrow. Thank you.
Oh, it's tomorrow? Okay. All right.
Depending on how the thing performs, we might be playing that Friday. You heard me? See, I got dibs on it, Jordan. Suck it.
Yes.
Pre-ordered.
Never pre-order.
Man, they could run out of digital bits if you don't get it first. See, I can't talk about anything because I pre-ordered a car. I mean,
Yeah. Oh.
But then again, that's a physical thing, and there was a big waiting list.
still is.
Yeah.
I haven't even got my VIN number yet.
Wow.
All right, let me get a refill, and I think it's a good time to attempt to do a show. Maybe Pedro's video is gonna hang out.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it'll be
Hopefully,
brilliant.
yes.
Bon, je crois qu'il en faut encore une autre, à mon avis.
Oh, here's the Frenchman.
Yay, Matthew Strider.
Pile, en fait, dans sa Game Boy.
No, not that one. The
Okay,
one in the
yeah,
song.
that one in the the music. Yes, I knew what you meant.
Quote unquote song.
One Up Collectif.
One thing I hate about wearing
Je crois que
shorts.
ça remarque, c'est
You
reparti.
stick to your chair.
Une petite virée avec One Up.
No, I'm a big fan of pants.
Yeah. It's just warm today, so I didn't want to wear my shorts. But
Oh, oh là là.
I do have the air on.
C'est ch- Yeah.
What the hell is with this music?
I know. This one's
heavy,
the most annoying.
heavy air quotes around music. Oh yeah, the Battle Royale is free to play, but the rest of the game isn't. Yeah, it makes sense since the game they're trying to rip off, Fortnite, also has the free-to-play Battle Royale. Yeah. I don't even care if it's a rip-off, it's just please don't suck. Please don't suck.
Oh yeah, Arthur, and you're going in for your big job interview tomorrow. I'm so happy for you. In his company, he's gonna go from doing Windows maintenance to a Linux admin, if all goes well.
All right.
So happy for you, Arthur.
Yeah, no, I'm just happy if I get my current position moved up a band, since then I'll be getting paid the same as the rest of the engineers. That would be nice.
Oh, wonderful. Hi, Testman.
The aristocrats. All right. Let's
Oh yeah, Testman. We'll be talking about it.
let's explode. All right.
Yes.
Boom. Let's see how this goes. All right. Get it out of your system, Jill. Smack it around a few times.
No.
Let's see. Record. All right. Let's get on the right show in the show notes. Okay. Everyone ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do this in 3, 2. What? 3, 2.
Flatpak hits 1.0, but what is the frequency, Kenneth? And build your own pie, assuming you don't need all that pesky rambling about.
Debian turns 25, and we have some interesting facts about one of the oldest and most popular Linux distros. Our favorite GNU image manipulation program turns 2.10.6, and things go all up, vertically that is.
And I'm toying with the idea of moving our audio stack over to digital. Stay tuned for that hot fire and expect a few glitches on this episode. And we're going to talk about the Steam thing. I know it's not a gaming show, but we got to mention it. So stay tuned, because it's another great day for Linux, everyone. And let's go. 3, 2, 1. And welcome back to Linux Weekly Daily Wednesdays, where we're going to take that midweek break and talk about some of the things we found fascinating going on. I'm Vince Stone. That is Joe Bryant, and that is that it's just Pedro. You know, don't stop. It's terrifying, Pedro. Never do that again.
Portugamer.
Portugamer. That's a thing. That's a thing. What's been going on, Jill?
Oh boy, I've been doing a lot of game testing since yesterday for obvious reasons. Of course, we'll be talking about in the show. And my Steve husband just took off this morning to go to Montana to help his mom move. So I'm going to miss him a lot.
Oh, no Steve husband to antagonize in chat room. Oh, well.
Yeah. Oh, no, he's still going to be there. So.
How about you, Pedro?
Well, the thing that's going to hold the games when the Steambox 360 is finally put together, the Western Digital Blue M.2 SATA, 500 gigabytes has arrived. It's, I'm just aching to have the necessary funds to buy the rest of the stuff I need so I can finally put it together. Yeah.
Yes.
Should be fun. That should be interesting. Like I said, not much over here. I think rigged is a wholly inadequate word for what I have set up right now, but it's strictly for testing. Because like, if you looked at the digital aspect and the analog aspect of everything wired up, it looked like I had a loaded gun to my head. And said, you got to get this done now. But I'm like half and half, like equally as ashamed of it as I am proud that it is working. So, that happened. Stay tuned. You probably will get outdoor tutorials from me if this sticks around. So let's celebrate a birthday, shall we?
Yay! Debian turns 25. And there's lots of neat facts about Debian some people may not know. And it is one of the oldest, most popular, and actively developed Linux distros. And the name of it came from Ian Murdoch and his then wife. Oh boy, I just spaced. Okay, okay. And it actually, for me, Debian is the Swiss Army knife of all the Linux distros and supports every computer architecture. And the Advanced Package Tool app revolutionized the way we install and uninstall software in Linux and has become the canonical for all the package management tools in every Linux distro, including, of course, Debian-based Ubuntu. And Debian also has a testing and a stable release. And they also actually have a BSD, a version of FreeBSD, which I used years ago, actually. So that's pretty cool too. A lot of people don't know about that. And all the releases are based off of Toy Story characters, because after Ian Murdoch left the distro, it was taken over by a gentleman who works at Pixar. So that's why we have Toy Story characters for the names. And yes, thank you, Katana Steel in chat. Debian testing is very stable for him, and me too. I have installed on a lot of my machines.
Yeah, it's not the 25 years of Debian that I'm celebrating. I'm celebrating 14 years of being the slightly less brown version of Ubuntu.
I don't know, man. I mean, one thing you can say about Debian, love it or hate it, which I'm a huge fan of it, is it's completely free software. So you can call it, GNU Linux completely unironically. I'm down with that. And, I know people joke around. They're like, oh, Debian's stale. But you know what? If you're doing something that's an appliance at the house, has that ability to just work TM, and that's something Google's even went back to using it. Because they were using Ubuntu for a minute, and somebody went, "Wait a minute, what?" And they've moved back to that business. So that's pretty cool. That's some of those things I didn't know, and that was kind of interesting to learn them.
Yes, and I'm going to fix my mistake. It's Deborah and Ian, Ian Murdoch, and then his then wife Deborah. That's where I was going with that.
Right. So from Debian, we talked about Ubuntu. Let's talk about can't even do that. Can't even do the accent with that. Just Ubuntu. Development Newsletter 9. The big thing in this that really the reason I'm bringing it up is they're going to take the Pepsi Challenge with their desktop experience. They're going to be moving to Wayland. They're porting OpenBox. Well, hang on, not Wayland. They're going to be using Mir. Jeez, all right.
Well, they're going to use both. They're going to be using Wayland as the graphical server and Mir as the window manager.
It's terrifying because they're porting OpenBox over to the Mir display server, which... am I alone, guys? When I was like, wait a minute, I thought that was a dead project. Nope. Turns out it's still technically being developed over at Canonical.
It is, and it's odd to see. I guess there were enough people with an investment in Mir that they just couldn't let him go. And by Mir, I don't mean Patrick. Yeah, they claim that come release of Lubuntu 2010, they will have the Wayland plus Mir thing going with the full LXQT suite, whatever that happens to be, because it seems right now to even not be completely set in stone, pun moderately intended, what they're going to be using for the software.
You did that simply because I can't tell you Peace Among Worlds on this show, but I'll get you back Saturday.
And yeah, if you're still running Lubuntu 16.04 and you were waiting so you could just update from one LTS to the other, you can now.
All right. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually still very sad that Lubuntu is discontinuing 32-bit support. So that's going to affect some of my older machines here. But it's really good that they're going back to they're going to go to Wayland. So that's actually really awesome.
Good to know. What do we have up next?
Up next, we have some controls for the tubes. Say you're you like to have the media controls in the same way that every other local media player has them nowadays in Linux desktop environments, which is in the system tray or in an applet or a widget of some kind. Well, now you can have those very same media controls on YouTube videos, and I'm guessing this would be relatively easy to bring to other things, but right now it only supports Chromium-based browsers. So your Chromes, your Operas, your Vivaldis, what have yous, they will all have this extension available to them, and you will get those media controls right there in the system tray along with everything else's. For me, what I really want is if someone would integrate this with KDE Connect so I could pause YouTube videos or just have them pause automatically whenever someone calls me. That's a really neat feature that I still haven't gotten used to, but it's really neat when I realize, oh, that was KDE Connect that paused that video. Neat.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it actually worked really well for me under Cinnamon, and they said they are going to be releasing a Firefox extension very soon, which is really good. And this actually makes sense because a lot of our audio players under Linux, like Clementine and Ardor, already do this, playing sound in the sound applet. So it makes sense to have video there as well. So, and it's convenient.
Yep.
Yeah, that's 100% really neat. Have you ever considered just using like VLC remote or something like that, Pedro, instead of
that requires installing another app on both my phones, the tablet, the Chromebook? No. KDE Connect. It's already installed in all of them, so yeah.
All right, fair enough. That's a neat thing if you want to. I don't know. I don't like desktop. Shocker, ladies and gentlemen. I don't like desktop notifications. I know no one assumed that, but okay. Mozilla has cleaned a bit of house
Yes, they did. They did. They had a lot of reports that a lot of the extensions were using more than they should. Let's say you had a simple extension just to change like some CSS elements in a page, and that extension was also sending that information back to whomever created it. And that was a big no-no. That Mozilla said that's not on the up and up, and we're going to get rid of them. So 23 Firefox add-ons that were being a bit snoopy were basically ejected from the Mozilla extensions webpage. And this is a really good thing. I really want Google to do the same with those Android apps that are requesting far more permissions than they actually need. I really want them to do that, but they haven't yet. So good on you, Mozilla, setting the standards. All right.
Now, immediately I thought to myself, why hasn't Chrome did anything about this, or just Alphabet or Google, whatever they're calling themselves this week? Because, leaking out information, I thought they would hate the competition. It's...
Yeah.
Only Google can snoop.
Some developers have pushed back with this, claiming, it wasn't outright maliciousness. What is the German companies are like, this is just bad code on our part, so they're trying to get everything sorted back out. I say good on that. And some of them were just straight up malicious. Jill?
Yeah, and this actually, there's a lot of the most widely used add-ons like YouTube downloaders and blockers and pop-up blockers are on the list, and I've even used some of them in the past. I don't anymore, but that was very interesting to see, and I'm glad they're Mozilla's blocking those, and yeah, good for Firefox for doing this first, especially since they were the ones who they were the original plug-in web browser. So it makes sense, and security is on the top of their list right now. So that this is an awesome thing for them to be doing.
Indeed. So a couple of us have these fancy NVMe drives, and kind of want some help over at what was this? This is from the Google blog, right? GNOME.
Yes.
GNOME. They want those bits for that firmware, and yeah, this is something I think everyone should help out with, because we desperately need better tools for managing NVMe under Linux. Like the idea of being able to do type of smart stuff like that. That's an experience in itself if you've ever had to do it.
Oh, absolutely. It's the thing that's really scaring me here is trusting GNOME with possible firmware updates to my NVMe SSD currently running on this box. It's like, no. I will totally submit my data. That's fine. You can have it. But no.
Yeah, that's not something I'm a fan of either. And but what's awesome about this is it's Richard Hughes who helped get Lenovo to the Linux vendor firmware servers, and he's asking us for help, which is really, really awesome. To have more firmware support under Linux, especially NVMe. This would be awesome. It could, I could see it as even helping bring the temperatures down on the chips, because that's really been an issue. So this is really awesome.
Let's see. What do we got? GIMP 2.10.6 graphics?
Yes. So the GIMP 2.10.6 has just been released, and there's lots of really cool changes. And one, as Venn mentioned in the show notes, is that now you can put your text vertically, which really helps with other languages as well as English. And in fact, most of the other paint programs like Photoshop, that's just a staple. So it's really good that they put that in there. And the Horizon straightening tool now lets you do vertical straightening as well, which is really awesome. So your Horizon line, you can adjust it vertically. And the Giggle-based filter long shadow lets you create drop shadows very, very easily from the panel. All the customization is there to increase the depth and the color. And this is awesome because before you had to use several tools to achieve the same effect. And they also streamlined the file dialog. It used to have the choice of the file format in the top, and then the bottom of what you'd save it as. So searching was a little confusing for and looking what files you had was a little confusing. So that's now all been compressed to one dialog. And I'm looking forward to a GIMP extension repository, which will be added in the future to easily install plugins and effects. And this is one of the
very nice.
Yes, this is one of the powerful things about the GIMP, and one of the reasons why it is one of my favorite image paint and photo editing programs is because of this customability, because it is open source and all the different scripts. And I have one I use all the time called GIMP animation plugin. And it's not installed by default. You have to go into repositories and find it. And sometimes it's a pain because it won't work with certain versions, but with others. So I will be really happy when I can just one-click that install. So yeah. I'm really excited about this release, and we're looking forward to the GIMP 3.0 release as well.
Yeah, a couple of things with that. I mean, it is on FlatHub if you want to go play it with it right now. You don't need a repo for that business. One thing I want to ask, can I finally draw a circle in under 3 steps?
Yes. Yeah. They streamlined that. And actually, that's a function that takes a few more mouse clicks under Photoshop. So GIMP has that ahead. Definitely.
Okay, let's go right on to Flatpaks and why Pedro is confused by 1.0 releases.
Well, I am just confused because, well, it's Flatpak. It's reached version 1.0. It's finished,
Yay.
right? It's done, right? No? Okay, they're going to keep developing it? They're going to keep adding stuff? Okay. So, what does the 1.0 mean here exactly? Because, yes, it's a feature update. It's like 1.0? I don't get why everyone was making such a big fuss about, oh no, Flatpak has now reached 1.0. And yeah, you've seen the articles. They've been all over the internet. Why? It's just a number. Let it go.
Oh, well, this release is supposed to be faster and more reliable and has fixed a lot of the bugs. And it actually has some very new important features. It introduces per app permissions like snap apps. And that's something I've always really appreciated about snaps. And it has a lot of new features for developers, including it allows developers, they can mark the versions of their apps as end of life instead of just hanging in there forever. And there's a new mechanism for apps to restart themselves, which is really, really nice. So you don't actually have to exit the app and go back in. It's supposed to auto restart, and that's awesome. And they're also taking the beta label off their FlatHub service, which is really wonderful. Right. Yeah.
Okay, so they should have called it FlatHub 1.0, not Flatpak 1.0.
No, we don't have to worry about it. I mean, at the end of the day, snaps are better, right? I don't know. App images.
Actually, one of the things that they did that Jill mentioned is the way that they handle permissions. If a Flatpak application requires certain specific permissions, it now does the same thing that Snaps did, and it's very similar to what Android apps do on Android. It's when you start it, it'll ask, oh, I need a permission to access the SD card. And then if it's something that lets you load up images, it's like, oh, I would like to look at the images on your device. Can I do that? And basically that's what Flatpak applications do now. So that's great.
All right, Jill, tell me about Android integration. What's this?
Yeah, so this is a new version of GS Connect, version 12. And there's actually a lot of bug fixes, including a major one that the writer was talking about, that apparently there was a bug that you couldn't access files from your Android device in 1804. And so they fixed that in GS Connect version 12. But this is actually a really, really a neat way to integrate your Android device with your GNOME desktop and get all your notifications and whatnot without having to install KDE Connect and all the libraries of KDE. So it's really an awesome tool, and I actually haven't used it yet, but I know Pedro you has used it before.
Yeah, I have it running on the Ubuntu 18.04, like the default Ubuntu 18.04 that I have running inside a VM on my X240. And my X240 runs Fedora 28 Cinnamon, because I want to just have all of the desktop environments so I can poke at them and see how they break, so I can make educated opinions when I tell everyone that they suck.
Yeah.
But, one of the things that the GS Connect application does not do is integrate with anything other than GNOME. Even something like Cinnamon, which is very, very heavily based on GNOME, it just doesn't work.
Doesn't
And
work,
it
yeah.
would be nice if they added that little bit of functionality.
Yeah, and that's actually kind of one of the reasons I haven't used it, because I don't use GNOME much, but if it was available on Cinnamon, I would use it.
All right, coming up next, multi-view with OBS. It's definitely 100% a thing. This is 22.1. Basically just a hotfix after the 22 not, which added one thing I was interested in. One thing that we use for return video is the multi-view send-out, which now we have some options, so I don't have to send this kaleidoscope of pixels to everyone. A bunch of bug fixes. They've changed a couple of things on the UI, but Jill, I thought I believe you said something about the volume meter. They've kind of changed that up.
Oh yeah, they improved that a lot. And first off is the audio can be oriented either horizontally or vertically in the mixer panel, which is really nice, especially if you have lots of pots and volume meters that you want to show and put on display. But most importantly, I noticed that audio decibel levels are more accurate now, switching to true peak instead of sample peak in the audio settings panel. It actually takes more CPU usage to use it, but it's much more accurate and doesn't flail around, or the gain does not flail around as much with it. It's more stable.
But I've just grown accustomed to the suggestometer that was the volume control.
Yeah.
Yes, that relative volume indication is like, now you're talking really loud, but it sounds as though, according to OBS, you were just talking regularly like before.
Yeah.
I mean, I always use the best volume meter on Linux is Audacity. Even if you're not recording anything, if you're setting up something, that works. And but hey, it's out. I used it. Pedro, I believe you used it yesterday when you streamed some Fallout 3. Go check that nonsense out. And
New Vegas, but yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It's some Windows game.
And then now you can show us 24 scenes with multi-view.
Oh, I could.
How would you like to keep track of that?
I don't have to keep track of it. I'm not the one looking at it, Jill.
Yeah.
All right. So,
speaking of playing Windows games on Linux,
it's wine time.
Yes.
Introducing a new version of Steam Play. It's a thing. In 2010, we announced Steam Play, a way for Steam users to access Windows, Mac, Linux versions. All right, so 2 years ago, they started this effort, and what have they done? Basically, they've spun their own version of Wine. And, hey, we do our best to avoid gaming-related topics on this show because we have one just for that on Saturday. But this allows you to launch Google Earth, so technically we can talk about it. Life hack on that. Their version of Wine, it's called Proton. It's a thing. It's modified distribution of Wine. Nothing new about that. It is using on applicable titles the DXVK, which we did learn from this announcement. Valve has been financing that, and that
explains the progress.
Explains why they didn't accept donations, and also explains, that breakneck pace that it's been developed at. Currently, right now, it has there's a small list of games that they say, okay, these should work, but in true Valve style, you can click a button and say, have at it, put it in Wild West mode. And there's currently a list of people trying to figure out what does and does not work. Jill?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, this is wonderful for us Linux users. Of course, yesterday was a big day for us. A one-click install from Steam to run Windows games, just wonderful. And this to me proved Valve's commitment to the Linux users. And maybe this is what they're going to be planning, of course, for their Steam machines as well, for those games that don't come over to Linux. So that's just really, really awesome. And it definitely, for me, it makes with the working on Ubuntu 16.04 with the latest NVIDIA drivers on the games I tested. And I tested the Witness, Thumper, and Puzzle Dimension, all of which work on Steam Play, but they actually perform better on Lutris with better performance and faster rendering. So kudos to Strider in chat, or Matthew, and Lutris, because he's done a lot of performance tweaks with the installers to make these games run even better. So Valve could take a good tutorial from Matthew. And but honestly, I have very few Windows games in my Steam library because I'm committed to the Linuxes. So, and but I'm also looking forward to trying more Windows only software in Steam, because that there's quite a bit of good animation and graphic software under Steam, and some of it's only available for Windows. And I actually did test one last night and it did work. So that was pretty cool.
Okay. I was just, well, when this first released yesterday, I was kind of disappointed. It's like, oh, now you can launch Windows-only games through Steam Play. So I updated to the new beta. It's like, it's not giving me the option. What am I doing wrong? And I wasn't the only one having this issue. Foxy in Chat Realm was also running into that. This afternoon when I got home and I turned on my PC, it's like, oh, look, the option's there now. Neat. So I tried 2 of the games that they have in their little whitelist, which, like Venn mentioned, you could just disable it and run it in Wild West mode. But Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl, and Quake, they both work very well under Wine. Stalker has the exact same bugs under Proton that it does under regular Wine. So, yeah, no, kudos, Valve.
It's definitely not bad for something out of the gate. First try on this, and we've seen, oh my God, the world's burning. We'll never get native ports. It's like, I don't think you got to worry about that too much. That's still going to be going down. This is spreading the love, one way to look at it, and at the same time, terrifying developers, because there's the added thing of like, well, maybe you could do that, but when you're playing it in, you know, the Wild West mode, that's up to you. What you don't need to do is complain on that store page saying it doesn't run, because the developers don't have anything to do. If they agree to have it on the whitelist, different story. So just keep that in mind. Let's use a little bit of tact with that.
Yeah, Valve deliberately said it was Pierre-Luc Griffet who put out the announcement, and he said, do not go to game developers about bugs if the game isn't listed on the whitelist. Come to us. Let us know what's not working, what's the issue. Just don't go blaming game developers for something that they're not supporting. This is Valve's doing, so take your bugs to Valve.
100% agree with that, and honestly, Valve, that should be a big blinking box when you click that button that pops up and just stays there.
There's an extra pop-up.
No, I mean something you can't get rid of for like 3 minutes so it sinks in. Okay, we're going to get into a slice up pie, but first we're going to say, hey man, thanks for supporting the show. A couple ways to do that. We have this crazy, bizarre business model where we just give everything away for free, and hope you enjoy it, and maybe in turn buy us a cup of coffee if that's your thing on patreon.com/Linux Gamecast. We got affiliate links. That doesn't cost anything. You're going to buy the stuff anyway. We got a Wish Zone. Even if you don't care about that, go check that out. You can see all the stuff that we've put together in this studio. Newegg, Humble just released you know what? Wait a minute. We need to think about that. Humble bundles just got a lot more interesting for people, didn't they, Pedro?
Oh, yes, they did, because now all of a sudden those 20 pages of unredeemed Windows keys that you have on your Humble library, you can redeem them now.
Admittedly,
and chances are they will work.
Mine's too bad. I'm like at 11 or 13 pay. I don't want to tread there. But thanks everyone who make this show possible. Without you, we couldn't do it, and we do enjoy doing it. So,
Yes.
hang on, like and subscribe or whatever. But it does help if you retweet.
Yes.
Is that what the
Smash
kids
the
do?
subscribe
Yes.
button.
Yeah, retweet. Share the show. It doesn't cost you anything, and it makes me happy.
Google the pluses.
All right.
Ring the bell.
Yeah.
Ring the bell. Then YouTube will notify you 2 days later. True story.
Yeah.
Let's get into a slice of pie.
Yeah.
Hackaday.
Oh boy, this is an
Yes.
awesome project. Build your own Linux single board computer. Oh, and so make your very own Blueberry Pi, an open source single board computer running Linux using the Allwinner V3 chipset and a 2-layered board that is inexpensive to produce. And besides the ARM Cortex A7 at 1.2 gigahertz, the Allwinner V3 system on chip has built-in 64 megs of RAM, which of course isn't a lot, but and an
No.
Ethernet. But the fact that it's contained on that little chip makes it a lot less expensive to produce.
Yeah, it's the big thing here. It really is the low cost, and the chip itself comes with the RAM baked in. But it was all sounding really, really great until it's like, oh, it comes with 64 whole megabytes of RAM.
Wait a minute. Are you holding out for the 65?
It would be nice if it had at least, I don't know, 1 gigabyte of RAM.
The word you're using for is usable.
Yes.
I don't know, man.
It's-
Maybe you want to do an embedded project on the steroids, and this might be a good
What steroids? The moment you throw anything at it, it's like, nope, RAM's full.
Arduino type project on steroids. All right. Yeah. I don't know.
At this point, it was 64 megabytes. In today's internet speeds, it barely qualifies for a 4-port switch.
I would
I'm
not
pretty
buy
sure
a
it
Switch
would
that only had
chug.
64 megs of
Yeah.
But listen, this is something you can build yourself. So like maybe if you're doing some education or something like that and you want to teach kids how to burn their fingertips off with soldering iron.
Yeah, yeah. Teach you how to
Yes.
use a keyboard.
100%. We got a little bit of feedback. If you want to get in touch with us, Pedro, how do they go about it?
You can do the little feedback, the little screaming in our direction by going to linuxgamecast.com. You hit the contact button. Just be sure to pick LWDW from the little choosy box. The name still hasn't changed. It's the easiest way, and it's guaranteed that we will feature your thing right here, unless it's something that you probably want us to answer quicker, or it's something that we can just answer right then and there. But chances are we may feature it too, to put it to everyone listening, so they can leave their own answers. And we did have one bit of feedback this week.
I love the part where I wrote something in the notes and Pedro just glossed right over it.
Oh, I didn't see that. After 2 years, comments and registration are once again open to the public. Yes,
So-
now you can leave comments on the shows as well, and all the videos that show up on linuxgamecast.com. Just leave a comment down below. It uses Discuss.
Pedro, no, it doesn't.
It doesn't?
No.
What does it use?
The built-in comment system for the WordPress install?
Yeah, it's running off of Discuss.
No, it's not.
No, it's just for WordPress.
Oh well.
Anyway. But the point I was
Discuss.
going to make is you're explaining to the type of people who watch a show about Linux how a comment system works.
Yeah. If I'm going to be condescending, I'm going to be condescending all the way. What are you getting at?
Oh, man. Oh, 7.1 surround. All right. Take it to the drop. We were talking about Dropbox last week, and they're like, hey, ext4 GTFO on that. This comes from Tino Seisen.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
how I
no,
was
good
pronouncing it.
luck.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take that. He writes in, I switched from Dropbox to... Pedro, you read this.
Okay, so I switched from Dropbox to SyncThing after Dropbox changed how their public folders work. SyncThing is great, open source, secure, etc. Now, of course, it lacks the cloud storage aspect of Dropbox, but this can be remedied by installing it on a by installing it on a server.
See, my
then,
brain tapped out when it started reading the grammar. That's why I keep Pedro. You take it.
And then you can have as much cloud storage as you'd like, and you have full control over it. That's the beauty of SyncThing. And it'll probably, that's a lot of hands, be still cheaper than paid subscriptions with Dropbox or other commercial cloud storage solutions. Yeah, it will probably be cheaper unless you're running a really, really old PC as your server and you're hosting it off of that, then the electricity bill is going to rack up. But yeah, outside of that, SyncThing, what was the other one? Nextcloud?
Nextcloud?
Yeah, Nextcloud. There's BitTorrent Sync as well.
There's
quite
a couple of different ways to do it.
Yeah. But I thought this was a really good option if you don't want to store files in Google Drive and Dropbox. So create your own NAS and do it that way.
Well, I mean, NAS is, especially cloud NAS is, I mean, the hardest part's like sneaking them into your friends' houses and closets and they don't see them.
Oh yeah.
I'm just going to leave this here, put some blankets on it. There we go.
To this day, my aunt has no idea what the sling box in her living room is. It's just leave it plugged in so I can watch my BBC. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Hey, beautiful people, we got to bounce out of here. Tomorrow, tune in. Jordan's going to be doing a thing. He's going to be playing some games. I have no idea. Neither does he, right, at this point. But check us out at linuxgamecast.com/live. And we have a schedule and all that nonsense. But that's it. I'm at Vinstone. That's at Jill, Linux Girl, and unaccounted for. Now, let's see if this music's going to work. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Is it coming in?
Oh, there it is.
Yes. Now I got new buttons. Boom. Credits.
Wow. Vivaldi crashed on me twice during the show.
I thought it was just me with the
show notes. I was having all kinds of issues. That's why I spaced a few times, and I'm sorry, Pedro. I took one of your stories, but
that's all right.
Oh my gosh. I was having mini fires. At least Pedro's video didn't go away. But more importantly, our audio is just fine.
Yep. 132!
Yes!
You did this.
Yay.
You all listening to this. You did this.
Thank you, chat realm, and all our patrons. We all love you.
Love you. Hey, Jill. Jill.
Yeah.
Let me show you something. Boop. Guess which one Jill's on?
The one that spiked.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, these. That's kind of impressive. You defeated the gate.
I defeated the gate?
Yes.
Yeah. To be fair,
the gate on the
music
tracks
was a bit loud, and Jill tried to compensate.
Thank you. Yeah, I couldn't hear you, Ben. When you were playing the music was too loud, so I had to talk louder because I wasn't sure if you were hearing me.
It wasn't when you were talking. It was when you projectile laughing into it. This is through the whole show, Jill. You can't get away just in. It's in. This is something I got to work on, though.
Yeah.
This is something to fix on my end. I'm just showing it off because I think it's funny.
Okay, good. Well, I need to work on that too myself, so.
So you guys are getting the music mix is loud?
Yeah, that was real loud for a second there.
Right. So we need mixer out to... Let's see which volume this is going to route through. Okay, you can hear it now, right?
Yes.
Can you hear it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Same volume.
Yeah.
It's too loud. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh god.
So that's on channel 4.4.
I have never had Vivaldi crash during my show, and it happened twice.
I'm just glad that Jitsi held up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. That was awesome. That's more important. I was embarrassed because I was trying to get all my links while I was trying to do my story. And I remembered most of it, but I spaced on Debian and Ian, and I was just like, I know that. I've even talked to Ian Murdoch before. Oh my god. Oh well. Jill switched to Arch recently. No, I didn't, Frosty. Yeah, but that was just the first time I had a couple, the show notes crashed. I had to go back into my Google Drive and oh.
All right. Now we ordered dinner.
Oh, good. Starving Pedro.
Because I do not feel like cooking. It's way too warm for me to turn on the stove. No.
Yeah.
And some sugar-free Pepsi, because the Pepsi with sugar now costs an extra 50p.
Oh my.
This one.
Alright, I'm gonna have to play around with this.
Yes, good luck, Arthur, and I'm so excited for you. That means you probably won't be doing Jordan's stream, probably. Although that's real late for you. Maybe you still can, but you're gonna be very busy. You might be too stressed or too nervous.
Anxiety before
yeah,
interviews is
the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can usually break the anxiety when you sit down and tell them, something simple like, why should I work for you?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions? Yeah, why should I work for you?
That's usually how I break the ice when I had to do interviews. It's like, so why should I work for your company? They're not ready for that.
Oh yeah, that's right, Arthur. Yeah, good. Okay, so you're good there. I just totally spaced on that. Yes.
Okay, so let's see, where is the
Yeah, I in the pre-show art there, and I was telling everyone that you were switching from a Windows admin to a Linux sysadmin position, and that's just awesome. That's what.
Oh yeah, when I went to my interview to go from the agency position to the permanent contract, I was still nervous. I was still very, very nervous.
Yeah.
And I had to take the train to Leicester to get the interview. It's just like, yeah, no, city I don't know. I made it to the place. It's like, oh, look, that's Westbridge Place. I can see it from here. Okay.
Wow. Yeah, the easiest one I had was at El Camino College, and a bunch of people just came to me and said, Jill, you're the director now for the animation department. There was no telling me ahead of time or anything. Okay.
All right.
Okay, I've learned stuff.
I saw you fumbling a lot.
Yeah, well, that's the only way to do it.
Right.
But you did great, Vin. It worked well, really well.
We'll find out.
Well, from where I'm sitting, it sounded consistent throughout, so.
Yeah.
then you start. I can do 20 channels of mix minus, so everyone's got their own personalized. Like this is the catch. Even what I'm hearing, I have to get dialed into what the computer's hearing versus what the stream's hearing versus what's getting recorded. That's why I was doing so much damn juggling.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to monitor. That's really the only way to do it. We'll get it dialed in a lot better on Saturday because we tend to have a very chatty conversation about stuff on the pre super shows, and so
Yeah.
there'll be a bit more of that.
Oh, yeah. The other thing I got. Plastic nippers. So I can give
nice.
the Steambox 360 the fine cuts that it needs in certain places.
I have the exact same pair of those because they were the cheapest ones I could find on AliExpress. They were like $1.
I got, it was £1 on eBay.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, I've had them for a long time, and I use them for they're wire snips, but
Yeah.
they do get the job done, 100%. Right.
And the dust filters, instead of using those plasticky ones, I also got these because these too were £1 on eBay.
Nice.
Aluminum mesh.
Yeah, those are great.
Those are awesome till you try to clean them.
Yeah. Old toothbrush. It'll get the job done.
You know what I found that works really well for those that I use? It's actually the dust cloths that like they have Arm & Hammer ones and whatnot that have a little sticky in them. It'll actually take out the dust from the holes. Those
You're a
have worked
lot more
really
patient than I am, Jill. I unscrew them and I go get one of my acetylene. Well, I usually don't use acetylene. I'll use like a propane torch and just go real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Then dust it off.
I just dust it.
Air compressors work.
Yep.
Yep.
That's what it is. It's a Steam box, or it will be a Steam box that's built inside an Xbox 360 case, and it just needs processor, motherboard, and RAM. Everything else is taken care of.
What type of processor and
airflow.
motherboard are you aiming for?
I'm going for the MSI Mini ITX B350 with built-in Wi-Fi's. With the Ryzen 2400G because Vega 11. And the RAM is just the cheapest 3200 megahertz I could find that's in the QVL list for that particular motherboard.
Oh yeah, free
So-
jack. I actually have an industrial air compressor that's like 6.5 foot tall, and it works really well too. That's what I use for the computers people give me, or I'm repairing for other people. Because my computers personally don't get very dirty, so I don't usually have to clean mine. But
Jill's a mutant. She doesn't produce dead skin cells.
so all I need is a dust cloth, and it's fine. Venn got a poop.
No love for cells.
It's showing up on my end.
Oh, it is? It's not. Yeah, it's not here. That happens sometimes too. Every 6 months. Yeah. Good going, free jack. Yeah.
I mop down here once a week.
I keep my computer room door closed, so I don't I don't open windows. I just use air conditioning. So it really, I mean, literally, you don't have to dust for like months doing things that way. But most people can't handle that. So I'm a bit OCD.
Oh, Dying Light's 13 quid. That's not too bad. Bioshock. See, I'm still not Rocket League, 8.99. Get it.
Yes.
if you don't have it.
Yeah, if you don't have rocket cars by now,
Yeah, get
that's
it now.
I think the cheapest it's been
I've ever seen it.
for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, developers, sell your games for more than Rocket League, because that works.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. We do anything else go on?
Let's see. No. I'm pondering whether or not to give Nori the gift.
Oh, tonight.
Why would you do that, man?
It's like, it's, yeah, I think she's going to like it. So
Listen,
I really want to
dude.
give it to her.
Dude, Nori knows something's up. She's in the other room listening to the stream right now, genius.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier than keeping the ear to the door. It's like, Pedro's mumbling about something. I wonder what it could be. Then again, it's Pedro, so. Right. E-bucks? What do you mean? The hell's an e-buck? Bitcoin?
There's several variants of e-bucks.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what Steambot does, man. Puts it in pounds. It works. I mean, it's not like in dollary dues. That would get confusing.
Mostly because Steam doesn't support the Australian dollar.
Exactly. Just a bunch of question marks. AUD question marks.
Upside down question marks. Oh no, wait, that's Spanish. Never mind.
How did we trigger the weather bot?
Oh, it was
W bang now?
yes.
I think?
It's weird because the bang is after the W.
Yeah. That's why you have to think about it.
You gonna do anything, Dance Monkey?
There it is.
Oh.
Okay,
All
so
the
86 is 28. All right.
Not that far off from California.
Yeah, Ben, your temperature's almost the same as mine. Let's see. Humidity's almost the same too. Wow. That doesn't happen that often that we have the same weather.
Joe, it's almost like we both live on the coast. I don't know what a Cambridge is. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good
19.6
weather.
Celsius.
19.6,
Yeah.
that's nice. I could deal with some of that. I don't know why it bothers with the weekly outlook.
Air quality alert on Wednesday. Special weather statement on Wednesday. Oh, it gives you the alerts too. Nice.
Yeah, we were having a surf advisory. Beware of tsunamis. The last couple days. But I'm too high up in elevation, so.
Oh, so it's gonna rain tomorrow.
All right, I think that's going to do it. It's going to be awesome. We're going to bounce out of here. I'm going to go see what all this nonsense sounds like. I didn't dare try to record on hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I didn't try to record on 9 separate tracks, just 2. So, that's an adventure for a different time.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week. Tune in tomorrow for whatever Jordan has planned, and I'll be around Friday for, we might play that Battle Royale game, so stay tuned.
Yes.
All right.
Bye,
Bye,
chat
everyone.
realm.
Bye.
Have fun.